Hey there guys, welcome back for another Warhammer Imperium magazine review. This week, taking a look at issue 4. So, with this issue, we get a pot of paint. This is a base paint and is lead belcher. And we also get 3 Scorpio destroyers and a Canoptic plasma sight. Now these guys, hopefully a lot of you managed to get 2 copies of this. These guys can go in squads of 6. They are very strong, or at least I've played them as quite strong in just a squad of 3. They can pretty much run through a squad of 5 intercessors, group them up as a squad of 6, and they are very, very tough units. Me, I've already got 3, so I've just got the collection here, or the magazine here. These 3 will be added to my other 3 to give me the 6. But I did go out and buy another 3, so another issue, to use one of these as part of a diorama that I mentioned in last week's video, and I'll mention again with next week. But if you want to know a little bit about the diorama and what I was planning on with it, then check out the end of last week's video on issue 3. Anyway, these again are push fit. Now a lot of the models that we are getting with the Imperium magazine are push fit models, but as always I recommend gluing them, trimming pins down slightly and shaving them down one side to allow air to come out. Don't trim them too much. You want to clip literally a millimetre off the length, just to make sure that it fits into the hole properly. And you'll see things like this on the hole here, where it hasn't quite been cut out properly, so you'll need to go through and either remove that or drill down in there, depending on how clogged that is. So yeah, 3 Scorpio destroyers, all the parts on 1 sprue, and a plasma sight. Right, and we also get our first large mat, which is also the one that I'm using as a background here. These are double-sided mats. On the one side we have this more Necron themed, no, I can't get it all the way open, but we have this more Necron themed red planet, something like Mars or something like that, type detailing. And the reason I say it's Necron themed is it's got these glowy cracks through it. Now the only thing I don't like about this is we've got these letters on this side. Now this is only on this mat, on this side. The other side is a bit more of a moon-like planet or background with sort of what looks like a road and some, bit of a layout for whatever it is on there, but that doesn't have the letters. It would have been nice not to have had lettering on this side, as personally I think this looks better than this. But yeah, there we go. Now that is a full size mat. I'm not sure of the exact size. I think it's 12 by 22 inches maybe. I think we get 4 of these that will go together to make a full size gaming board. But yeah, first mat. So moving on with the issue. So we got obviously our 3 Scorpio destroyers and a plasma sight. We get painting with lead belcher and our biggest battle yet. So Scorpio destroyers. Now, as I said, these guys, I do like them. I'm not a huge melee combat fan, but these guys, they wipe through melee so quick. They're good for just throwing down the board, smashing through what you can whilst your shooter units move in behind them. So they get the Hyperphase Threshers, which are these ones here, where they are doubled. And then this guy, I think his weapon is actually something different, but they haven't named it down here. I can't remember what it's called, And then we've got the Canoptic plasma sight here, that just does a bit of regeneration for them. So we could fill out a battle record for them. So we've got the battle record, I think, is for the squad, yeah, unit designation, so it's a squad as a whole. And then we can give them some gifts of destruction, decay of the self, and an engrammatic viral payload. Yeah, so the creation of a Space Marine. Now, this is obviously for the Space Marines part of the folder. So creating a Space Marine is no easy task. Every one of these superhuman warriors is a product of agonizing surgery, psycho indoctrination, and decades of brutal training. It is a process so horrific that few survive. Such are the sacrifices mankind must make to defend the Imperium. And yes, it is a horrible process. Adults can't survive the process, or rarely survive the process, and so typically young teens, anywhere from sort of 12 to 15 are recruited to become Space Marines. They can take on the process a little bit better. They undergo years of psychic sort of training and psychic mind melding, and just messing with their brains and stuff. And then they go through physical changes. They have extra organs implanted, extra an extra heart, organs that we don't even have as humans that were created for the Space Marines. They have all these extra little ports and stuff embedded into their skin that their armor attaches to, so that it can read their vital signs and things like that. It's a very grueling process, and is done over years, partly in fact to save or try to have the Space Marines survive. I think if they were to try and do it all within a few weeks, the pressure on the body would just kill them outright. So they have to do it a little bit at a time, over the course of a few maybe decades. But yeah, definitely brutal. So to find an aspirant, so yeah, here we go. Look, recruits must be used, for only young bodies can accept the organ implants. These aspirants must pass deadly trials before they are chosen. Trials may include fighting each other to the death, or hunting a deadly beast armed only with a sharpened stick. Few aspirants survive these punishing tests. I know that some chapters will only recruit from what's known as death worlds, where they are so dangerous that people rarely survive on them, and those that are surviving on them usually tend to do well as Space Marines. They'll recruit them from hive worlds, and they'll typically be strong survivors. They'll be thugs and criminals and murderers, but they are typically smart enough and strong enough to survive that kind of environment, that again, they make good Space Marines. So next up we have a little bit about the warp, destinations and demons. So obviously last issue I went a little bit into the warp, and as I said, the magazine is going to do more on it. So we have the warp is a dimension of pure energy that exists outside the fabric of reality, known also as the Imperium, the Imperium, and the Sea of Souls, amongst other ominous names. It is at once utterly essential to the existence of the Imperium and the most deadly threat to humanity. So we have the Astronomicum. So this is what I was on about with the bright light, being a psychic light from the Emperor. So it's a psychic beacon projected from Terra by the Emperor himself. It shines through the madness of the warp to act as a guide for spaceships attempting to navigate that perilous realm. Once the Astronomicon shone across the galaxy, but now vast regions of the Imperium are cut off from its light. and that's because of the Great Rift that opened up. Then we have how to build Scorpio destroyers and Canoptic plasma sites. Now, as I said, these guys are push fit, but I do glue them in. Gluing is totally optional for you guys. Now, 2 of these with the single armed scythes are easy to paint once assembled, so go ahead and assemble them fine. This guy has the blade that comes right across his chest. It's not too much of a problem, you can get behind him. The problem with leaving it off is that it actually forms up the main part of the body. It needs to be attached in there. You could maybe leave the arm off, don't glue the model, paint it up, and then pop the chest off carefully, put the arms in, and then glue it together. That way, it's entirely up to you, but assembling him whole and painting behind shouldn't be too much of a problem. So see what I mean? You can see here we do have a bit of a gap to be able to get in. There's not a huge amount of detail, so you could do it. Obviously painting both sides of the blade would be a little bit difficult because of having to turn him upside down, whereas these guys you can easily access both sides. Anyway, we got how to paint Scorpio destroyers and Canoptic plasma sites. So this is using our first paint, the Rune Lord brass. Now there's a mistake. They gave me a pot of lead belcher. Luckily I bought the other set of this and got Rune Lord brass in it, but I've got lead belcher, so I don't know what they've done there. I needed more lead belcher anyway, so I'm not going to complain. I did get the other Rune Lord brass in there, but do check that you got Rune Lord brass. I know that Hatchet are pretty good. If you phone them up and let them know that there was a mistake, rather than send you the pot out, they will actually send you the whole issue, or may. Don't take my word for it. You know, I don't want to be responsible for anybody complaining or whatever, but they have been known to send out a complete issue with the correct paint in there, which means you also get more models. Obviously, be genuine with that, guys. Don't try and mug them off. You know, they do have spare copies for that reason, but there are people out there like myself who would genuinely need that spare copy, so you're only going to get away with it a couple of times if you're trying to you know, get a free issue out of them. If you've got the correct paint, just go out and buy another issue. But like I said, they've given me lead belcher. I mean, even the pot doesn't look fully lead belcher. I'm not sure, I have to open it up, but yeah, either the wrong label's on there or it is the wrong paint. But like I said, I've got another paint anyway, so not a problem. Alright, so Scorpio destroyers, paint them up with the what have they done there? No, I'm an idiot. We got the Rune Lord brass with issue 2, didn't we? Never mind all that, guys. So, how to paint. We've got the Rune Lord brass paint that we got with issue 2. So obviously we're going to go and give them a coat of that. And then we use the lead belcher for all of the other metallic parts. Again, if you're watching the painting videos on how I paint these, that'll be up in the corner there, and you'll see how I do this. I don't paint the weapons with the lead belcher, purely because I do these differently. But yeah, check it out. If you're painting it this way, then I recommend following what they're doing with the magazine, just because of how they may end up painting the blade to get this effect. I don't do this with an undercoat of metallic paint. You'll see how I do it, but it may be that they are going to use a green paint over the top and just rely on the metallic to show through. And then obviously on your ultramarines or your space marines, you want to paint these other bits in metallic as well. Then we've got the playthrough. So Destroyers Awaken. Having already awakened a trio of Scorpio destroyers, a Canoptic plasma site moves to bring more of these devastating killing machines to life. So for this, we're going to be using Scorpio destroyers from this issue, the Assault Intercessors, and the Primaris Lieutenant from issue 1. As I said, me playing with Scorpio destroyers, I have gone through a squad of 5 Assault Intercessors before quite easily, so I expect the Scorpio to do a little bit better in this playthrough. It will also give you guys close combat experience on the Necron side. Obviously last week it was the Assault Intercessors, this week it will be the Scorpio destroyers eating through everything. So we've got data sheets. We've got the Scorpio destroyers, you've got 3 wounds, 3+ save, 3 attacks. Yeah, again, if you want to watch the playthrough of how I'm playing this, check the link up in the corner there and see how I'm getting on with learning the basics whilst knowing the rules, which is going to be really confusing for me. You guys, if you're new to it, obviously the way that it's teaching is going to be ideal for you, or at least they expect it to be ideal for you, but if you know the rules already, then you're probably not too fussed about this. Then we got moving on to next week. So issue 5, we get the Primaris Captain. As I mentioned, I'm a few weeks behind on the video, so this guy fully sold out within the first day of coming out. If you guys managed to get more than one, then well done. Me, I wasn't able to, and I had some good plans for him. One that I got with my subscription that we'll see next week, obviously for my Dark Angels army, and I was hoping to pick another one up for a little diorama piece that I was going to use as a giveaway when I reach 1,000 subscribers. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a copy of him. If I manage to, then I will still do that. Otherwise, we'll see. So we've got issue 6 the week after. We get a pot of Abaddon Black and some Primaris Aggressors. I do have something in store for the Aggressors. I bought a separate set for them, so there'll be a video for that at some point after that. And then with these Aggressors, obviously I'll be painting them up for my Dark Angels. Again, as with the Scorpio destroyers, these guys run pretty well in squads of 6 rather than 3. So I'm hoping that I can get another 3 of these and run them as 6 as well. If not, then it will just be the 3 or even 5. For some reason I like the 5 for Space Marines. You know, Assault Intercessors. Most units typically run as 5, so when they're a squad of 6, they end up running them as a squad of 5. So yeah, price is up on the screen now for this week's issue. It is quite a decent saving on the Scorpio destroyers there. I think as I'm saying this, they're around about £30, and then obviously the price of the paint on top. So a nice little saving there. Is, you know, it's on the screen here. You guys can see what we're saving. But yeah, so that's the end of the issue, guys, and the end of the episode. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you're not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell, and you'll get notifications for future uploads. If you have recently subscribed to the channel, then a big warm welcome to you. Welcome to the inner circle. But until next time, guys, take it easy. Keep painting those minis.